NBA Straya. How are you going? How you going? You're right, you should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, TGIF, am I right? That's right, it is Friday, May 23rd. This is NBA Straya. I'm your host, James Clemens. I'm here in Larry Armour Studios, hanging out, giving you the lowdown on yet another OKC bootdown of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Hey, other stuff happened though, so that's good. Dyson Daniels, all defense, first team, love that. The Nuggets have a new head coach, same as the old coach, still good. We've got a big weekend preview coming up, but either way, we're going to wrap up that Western Conference Finals game too in the NBA Straight game. Right, we've also got That's the Night, Four Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better than Lonzo Ball. It's Friday. That means we have Dickhead of the Week and Magic Tweet of the Week. We have the Unpopular Opinion of the Day, and Outback Takehouse, where we're serving up a Flame Girl take. And there is a Luke Longley Memorial Role Player of the Week award to give out as well. Then we'll also set you up for the weekend ahead. Who is excited about Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals? Saturday, Sunday, we're going back to back. It's going to be awesome. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1274 of NBA Straya. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Australia.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better watch out for the attack of, I don't know, Stephen A and his Pepto-Bismol. Jeez. I don't know. Look, I hate just talking about commentary and gear like that, but it is a passion project of mine because I don't think it should be so shit. Like watching these fucking pre-game halftime things. My biggest thing is, why does this suck so fucking much? If it's not Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq with Ernie, it's just fucking horrible. ESPN has just devolved into Stephen A and Kendrick Perkins yelling at each other, while Michael Malone is just like, what the fuck am I doing here? I know that I'm auditioning for another head coaching gig, but bloody hell, I'll be doing other things. Anyway, hey, let's start with some news from today with the Daily. What is it? It's a whip around. That's right. So, all defense teams are announced today, which is awesome. Why is that, Jim? Well, because our man, the Great Barrier Thief, the Bendigo Bandito, the Man of Steel, Dyson Daniels, first team, all defense, which makes sense considering he came second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. First Aussie to make an All-NBA team since Ben Simmons. All defense team, of course. Just using that sort of All-NBA, all defense sort of stuff. Joins Ben Simmons and Andrew Bogut as the only Aussies to score All-NBA honours, which is kind of neat. Bogey had the all defense nod back in, say, 15, 16, something like that. Not bad. But the first team was announced. It was Dyson Daniels, the Great Barrier Thief, Evan Mobley, who obviously won Defensive Player of the Year. Then, Dort, we need more Dort, number plates, Amen Thompson, and the world's biggest fucking defensive grifter, Draymond Green. How he made this list ahead of fucking Triple J, Zoobs, Tumani Kamara, I don't know. But here we are. It's fucked. Second team was Triple J, Ivica Zubac, Zoobs. Interestingly enough, J-Dub, Jalen Williams, sure, Tumani Kamara, and Rudy Gobert, Gustavo Tower. I'll talk about a snub later on, but jeez, it's a bit stiff. J-Dub is kind of fine. Sort of feels like we ran out of people to vote for, but either way, Dyson is, he's still here, the second youngest guard in NBA history to make first team all defense, behind Kobe Bryant. Not bloody bad. He also obviously came second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. It was the only first team selection other than Mobley to get on all 100 ballots of the voting, which is pretty good for the first team. Not bloody bad. Can talk about that again later. Obviously won Most Improved Player Award too, which is very nice. Hey, remember Tyrese Halliburton from yesterday? That was cool. I love Tyrese Halliburton's self-reflexivity. Like, Tyrese Halliburton understands who he is to a really, really good degree, I think. And he's really eloquent when he talks about it. And he actually brought up, he does the fucking Reggie Miller choke sign. And it was asked about it later. He's like, I wasn't plotting on it or anything. If I would have known it was a 2, I wouldn't have done it. I might have wasted it. If I do it again, people might say I'm aura farming. Aura farming is a fucking incredible phrase. And like, Tyrese Halliburton has more aura, and he doesn't have a giant amount of aura, but he's got enough aura because he's so fucking clutch. More aura in his little finger than Jason Tatum's ever had in his entire life. And I love that he's like, he understands, yeah, fuck, I nearly screwed this up. Like, it could have been a disaster. An all-timer, but here we are. Gets a big thumbs up from me. Other news, David Adelman is your Denver Nuggets head coach. But Jim, he already was. Well, he was the interim. And you had Josh Kroenke come out and be like, yep, look, spoken to Joker, understand that what we've got to do. We believe in David, and I think we're going to be good. And everybody listening and reading and just going through all this stuff that is going on with the Nuggets, you're just like, Michael Porter Jr., just pack your fucking bags already, pal. Like, see ya. Adelman, I mean, he's officially now the head coach of the Nuggets. Very cool. He goes 3-0 in the regular season after taking over from Michael Malone. Wins a playoff series, goes 7 with OKC, which after what we've seen in 2 games against Minnesota is pretty fucking remarkable. So, not bad. I reckon he deserves that. And the last little bit of news, I love playoffs because it gives us like just these little just nuggets of info. Just because there's so much media on the ground in these places where the games are being played, and some of these media members have been around forever. They know the players pretty well. So Mark Spears had a really fascinating one about Anthony Edwards, about how he was up till 3 a.m. He was up until the wee hours, not rooting and coming up with other kids because he's already got fucking a million of them. He was apparently watching game film with one of the assistant coaches there for the Timberwolves, Chris Hines, after the game 1 loss. And you're like, well, yeah, I kind of hope that he was grinding the fucking film because he played like shit. And I kind of appreciate about Anthony Edwards is that the dude is a bit of a fucking lunatic when it comes to this sort of stuff. So, thing is, it didn't help much. Let's get to the game wrap. Game wrap. Wow, did OKC just go and shit pump the Timberwolves again. 118-103. But Jim, it was close. Yes, it was. And then what did OKC do again? That's right. They fucking went to the third quarter and then the Wolves got straight killed.
So he got straight killed.
Every fucking time. It was close in the first quarter. It was a fucking rock fight to start off with, wasn't it? But then, like, Minnesota's bench actually gave them something. And in that second quarter, they're hitting a couple of threes, doing a bit of work. SGA hits another shot. There's actually a really fascinating moment in the second quarter, and it repeated itself throughout the game. And I'm like watching this going, Jesus, that seems important. Oh, God, there we go. There it is again. Oh, fuck, they've done it again. And it was basically Minnesota not taking advantage of their chances, right? OKC, as we've now seen across these 2 games, just strangle the fucking life out of you. And it's just, there's a moment where you go, oh, like they're basically Halliburton to the Knicks, right? They're Reggie Miller to Spike Lee. There was a moment in that second quarter, Ant-Man just misses a 3. It's 49-45. The Wolves are down. Ant-Man misses a 3. It just rolls around the rim and then pops back out. SGA goes up the other way, hits another shot. And you're like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, that's a tough moment. Like, that's a 1-point game. They go back up. Dante misses another shot. And they kind of just let up in the last 2 minutes of that second quarter. SGA hits a big three. There's a really dumb Dante DiVincenzo foul as well. OKC score again, and then boom, there's a bullshit foul called against the poor Wolves again, letting SGA go to the line. He went to the line a million times in the first half. Not really a surprise there. They did sort of seem to clamp down a little bit more later, but some of that foul grifting, fuck me. But OKC just score another 2 points, and then suddenly you go into the half down 8. And the Wolves are going to be looking at themselves going, the fuck just happened? We were in this game. We were right there. Now we're down. We've got an 8-point hole going into the second half. And, I mean, what? Ant-Man had 16 at the half. SGA had 17. The Minnesota bench had actually shown up. They went 7-12 in the first half. Not bad. 4 of 8 from 3. The OKC bench, again, same as in game 1. They just hadn't really done too much. But this time, Minnesota's had to sort of help keep them in it. This time, they didn't have Julius Randle going off. He was shit all game. And OKC's bench, outside of Alex Caruso, was 1 of 8. This was the moment for Minnesota to take advantage of it. And they just didn't. Like, if the door is slightly ajar, Minnesota, you got to kick it the fuck open. And these first 2 games of this series, they've just not been able to. Like, there's just like an intensity gap almost, right? It's the best way to sort of think about it, because there's another exact moment of that same sort of 49-45 moment where they're at 68-63. And you're like, ooh, here we go. Naz Reid lines up a 3. You're like, yes, they've fought back. He misses the 3. OKC go up the other end. Guess what happens? SJ scores 2. It's a big turnaround, because then Jaden McDefense, aka Jaden McDaniels, he also misses a corner 3 from the exact same spot as Naz Reid. Naz Reid misses a free throw. Randall he gets the ball back, doesn't get the putback up. They don't score. Then they eventually turn it over. It's basically these 3-4 empty trips. And then SJ just drops in an and one over his cousin. Hey, did you know that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, this might be breaking news to most of us, but they're actually cousins. Did you know that? It's fucking incredible, right? I've never heard anyone mention that ever. Anyway, you turn around, Nick Alexander-Walker just leaves, the cousin of SGA, BT Dubs, leaves a layup short. Caruso goes back up the other way. And you've just gone from having this moment where you had a chance to make it a 2-point game, and then fucking OKC, you're up by 11. 11! It is insane. And this is just what keeps on fucking happening. It's the OKC run. It's good defense. It's better offense. It's like you give them like a fucking inch, they're taking a mile, right? If you aren't super on point, crisp, absolutely head on a swivel, guess what? They're tipping another ball away. They're going back in transition. And that's exactly what happens. Cason Wallace hits a 3, and suddenly it's 15 points. They get Chet. Boom. This huge alley-oop off a steal. It's a 17-point game. The doors are being blown off. Basically, at this point, you're like, Minnesota's just like this fucking punch-drunk boxer going, Jesus fucking Christ, what just happened? It's like, I don't know. If you'd been paying a little bit more attention, you'd realize, and now you wouldn't be down 19, you fucking idiots. It got worse as well, because this is exactly what happened in game 1. How you don't have absolutely everything geared towards like ensuring that this doesn't fucking happen again is beyond me. Middle of the third quarter, OKC rip off a 17-2 run. Game 2, middle of the third quarter, 14-2 run. It ends up being like 19-6. Ant-Man gets the line once or twice, and then Dort smokes a 3. You've got this horrible moment. There's some bad Julius Randle defense. Minnesota missing number 3. Chet just dunks through Dante. SGA drives. They get free throws again. And you're like, oh my God, Minnesota are completely unraveling. It's a 21-point game. At that point, it's like 32-19 in the third quarter alone. And the turnovers were just coming thick and fast from Minnesota. At that point, it was like 11-4. Cason Wallace hits another 3. It's a 24-point game. And you just see there going, look, OKC's defense is that fucking good that there's probably just zero fucking chance now of you coming back from 24 points down. And so 22 points down at the three-quarter break. OKC's won the third quarter in the series to 67 to 39 across those two games, right? So they've scored 67 points in the third quarters, and Minnesota have scored 39. I don't know. I feel like I'd make it a bit of a priority to sort of fix that. How do you fix it, Jim? Stop turning the fucking ball over like a bunch of dumb idiots and hit some fucking shots to break up the momentum. Use some timeouts. There were these weird moments where Chris Finch is like, they'll be fine. You turn around, you're down 21, Chris. What the fuck are you doing? But the Wolves showed a bit of fight at the start of the fourth. They get it down to 17. Quick 5 points to open the fourth quarter. There's this big Hartenstein dunk. McDefense has free throws. And this is the problem, though. You throw the kitchen fucking sink at OKC just to get any bucket. And then OKC just go back up the other way and just go, here's like two different cuts along the baseline. Boom, guess what? It's Chet rolling down the middle, open dunk. And you're like, what the fuck? What are we doing here? J-Dub just goes straight through everybody. Like, they get it down to 13 points after OKC miss a couple of shots. Jaden McDefense just shoves SGA over, and it sort of feels like that sort of turns the momentum around a little bit. But up until this point, like, Minnesota would just miss. OKC would always just score. And you're like, you turn around, if you score, then guess what? They're going to score. If you don't score, they're also going to score. It's fucking brutal. They get it down to 11 points. You're like, hang on. Nick Alexander-Walker's like just fired up. And then J-Dub, though, gets an and one after a stupid Minnesota turnover where they're forced to turnover. McDaniels somehow never has the ball, tries to give it to Ant-Man who never has the ball, and then suddenly J-Dub has it and one. There's a block from Reed. But yeah, J-Dub just follows up, gets it. It's a 13-point game again. And that was their moment, right? 13 points. Well, it was 11 at that point. You had a chance to get under double digits. And they just fucking fluff it on the perimeter because no one apparently on Minnesota can handle the ball apart from Mike Conley, and he's old as fuck, and they get torched on defense every time he touches the floor. So it was just too easy, though. There's this incredible Ant-Man jumper where he's just like, fucking check out this Kobe, this beautiful mid-ranger, 3 minutes to go. And then again, OKC just roll up the other end, Chet straight down the middle, just bang. Then Ant-Man just launches this super fucking double team three, dumb as fuck. J-Dub goes up the other way, bang, three, game over, 112.99. I think Nick Alexander-Walker hit the side of the backboard on his response to the J-Dub three as well. It's like, they just fuck around for the last couple of minutes. Like, Ant-Man's dribbling it off his foot. It's just a fucking schmozzle. The Wolves completely unravel. OKC go up 2-0. Absolutely laughing in these second halves. It's ridiculous. So, not bad in the end for the Thunders. They're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. And Minnesota's just going to be looking around like the John Travolta meme of like, what the fuck are we doing? The fuck is this? They go 11 of 39 from downtown. It's 28%. Somehow it felt slightly like if Mike Conley could hit a fucking shot, if Julius Randle could hit a shot, at least today their bench hit some shots, but Ant-Man couldn't buy a three. Fucking Conley was shit house. It was a horror show. Anyway, 14 turnovers really, really hurt them. It's like 14's not bad, Jim. It feels like every one of those turnovers, though, is like a live ball turnover. And so OKC are suddenly running and out in transition, and every time they do that, you're fucked. Ant-Man finishes with 32, 9, and 6. Shoots 12 of 26, but crucially 1 of 9 from downtown. And the big thing for me as you watch them play, there was that moment in the middle of the third quarter where he got to the line a couple of times. He goes 7 of 10 from the free throw line. And you sort of balance that out with SGA, who goes to the line 15 times. You're like, yeah, he's gone to the line 5 more times. It's a couple of possessions, right, that SGA's just sort of taken away from the Wolves, gotten to the line, hung out there, chilled out. Ant-Man hasn't been able to do that. The big problem was, obviously, the second banana of the Wolves did not fucking show up, whereas the second banana on the Thunder did in a big way. I'll talk about that in a second. Randle, horror show. Doesn't hit the fucking floor at all in the fourth quarter because he was that bad. Chris Finch is like, nah, sit the fuck down, Julius. And we all know that's probably going to go over great. He's definitely going to be engaged for game 3. Jesus, 6, 5, and 5 on 2 of 11 shooting. Rudy Gobert had 5, 9, and 1. As I said in this morning's video, what are you doing, Rudy? You're 7'40". Give us something. What are you doing? McDaniels, 22 points. And this is like an awesome McDaniels game. Doesn't get in foul trouble, hits 4 threes. Really, really decent shit. But they waste it because no one else really had the wherewithal to step up, show a bit of fight. Conley was horrible. Like, he organizes their defense really, really well. He ends up with 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And it's like a plus minus, right? He's +9 or something. But defensively, it's a train wreck. Nicky Alexander-Walker, 17, 2 and 2, incredible off the bench. And again, you waste a good Nicky Alexander-Walker game. Brutal. Adonde DiVincenzo has 8 points, goes 2 of 6 from deep. And then Naz Reid, 10 and 8. And you're like, that was a good game from Naz Reid, Jim. It's like, was it? He still went 0 of 5 from downtown, and none of them looked like they were going in. I yelled about this the other day. He's been fucking shit. It's the first time he's gotten a double figure since the start of the last series. It's brutal. The bench ends up what? 8 of 24 shooting? Kobe. And 5 of 15 from downtown. Just needs to be like that tiny little bit better, but they definitely outplayed OKC's bench. The problem was Randall and Conley were shithouse. So here we are. OKC, doesn't matter. They still shoot 50%, only 6 turnovers. They only went 9 of 33 from downtown, but they got to the line. They forced all of the pressure to the point where the Wolves only had 2 steals all game. SGA had 3 by himself. It was incredible. SGA finishes with 38. J-Dub has 26, 10, and 5 and was just fucking great. Kill shot after kill shot. Chet was really good in this one too. 22, 4, and 2. Shot 8 of 17, 1 of 6 from downtown. The threes weren't dropping, but the 3 that he did hit was just a kick in the dick, just like, fuck you guys. Dort, 9, 8, and 4 with a couple of steals. His rainbow 3 was just like the here they fucking come. Look out. Caruso, 9 points. Hartenstein, hello, 6, 8, and 2. Caruso fouled out as well, which is pretty crazy. I think it's the first time he's fouled out of a playoff game. Case and Wallace hits a couple of threes. Wiggins doesn't do much. Kenrick Williams doesn't do too much or anything, really. And the OKC bench kind of gets outplayed by the Minnesota bench, but because all of their fucking starters were good, it didn't matter, and OKC are up 2-0 and look fucking unbeatable. And this is probably my biggest takeaway from this game. It is absolutely incredible how their defense feeds in their offense and just makes the other team look helpless, right? They just look helpless. They make you look like the Wizards. Like, it's fucked. You're just like, oh, God, scramble, scramble, scramble. You're suddenly launching shit shot after shit shot. Just suddenly you're down again. You're like, God, I've got to shoot this 3. It's like, no, you don't really have to shoot the 3. Oh, he shot the 3. Right? Your defense is always on its back heels all of a sudden. It's disorganized. You basically just turn into a rabble in the face of just like this sheer fucking incredible offensive, defensive avalanche. And it's incredible to watch when they just kick it up a notch. Because they weren't that great in the first half. They were scrambly. SJ was fantastic. J-Dub was kind of all right. And then they gave him the old 1-2 Costa-Zoo in the third quarter, and away we go. So let's do an NBA Australia approved performer of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That is a knife. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Cousin, you may not have heard, of Nick Alexander-Walker, who is actually on the Timberwolves. So it's a pair of cousins going against each other. Did you know that? It's incredible. Anyway, this was absolute fuck you. I just won the MVP, got my trophy from Adam Silver. Congratulations, SGA. You're the second Canadian to ever win it. You're like, Jesus. Anyway, gets his MVP trophy. Turns out he's a bit of a wife guy as well. He's like, yeah, it's just, I would thank my wife. She taught me what love is. You're like, Jesus. Well played, SGA. Someone's going to get a wristy tonight. Anyway, superstar territories, though, this game. 30 on both sides of the ball, as I mentioned. The 3 steals versus all of the Wolves combining for 2. Incredible. 38 points on 12 of 21 shooting, 14 of 15 from the free throw line, 1 of 2 from downtown, 8 assists, 3 steals. the pressure that he allows you to play with defensively is amazing. Compare him to someone like Luka, right? Where it's like, oh, he's doing everything on the offensive end. It's like, maybe Luka shouldn't do so much on the offensive end in the way that SGA is always kind of like, look, hey, I've got the ball in my hand, but I don't need the ball in my hand to be really, really effective. And then boom, up the other end, he's like fucking getting blocks. He's stealing fucking everything that's not nailed down. He allows the rest of the Thunder to relax a little bit and just play with like an intensity that just blows your mind because he's so fucking good. He's the MVP. It's incredible. Both sides of the ball. It's amazing how much that means to a team if you're trying both ways. If you're a fucking dominant offensive player and not a shit defender. Like, it's awesome. Goddamn, he was good. That was an absolute superstar. Fuck you. We're not losing game 2 in our house. We're going up 2-0. Bit of foul grifting, bit of unethical basketball at times. As I said, they sort of clamped down a little bit in the second half, but he was still fucking incredible. SGA, just that. It's maybe not going to the pool room.
This is going straight to the pool room.
But as a fuck you, I just won the MVP and I got the trophy at home. Fuck off. Like, it might actually go to the pool room. Like, it's such an awesome statement game. So well done to SGA. Who was Spud of the night, though?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Well, this one's easy. Spud of the night. Julius Randle, Julius. You're always afraid it'll happen, right? Where he just turns into a massive spud. And fucking hell, he was bad today. 6-5-5 with 4 turnovers. The thing that got me, though, I highlighted earlier, like, there was a player who just played, like, really shit defense, and they get a 3 from it. I think it was Dort. And it really just fucking slowed any hint of momentum they had down, right? And when you're trying to stop these runs that OKC go on, you need everybody fucking locked in, just going, right, we can't have them score again, let alone fucking leaving a dude wide open for a corner 3. And Randall was just fucking horrible. He stunk. So well played to Chris Finch for not playing him in the fourth quarter, but wow. Every Knicks fan everywhere is like, aha, ha, 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 told ya. That's the Julius Randle I remember. 2 of 11 from the floor, 0 of 3 from downtown. Just an all-time horror show. And then you combine that with the sort of lackluster, oh my God, I'm so old and cooked game from Mike Conley, where he goes 1 of 6 from the floor and 1 of 4 from downtown. He took a shot in the third quarter. You're like, Mike, I feel like you're old enough to know that that's not your shot there. Like, what's going on here? But the thing is, they can't defend with him out there, but they also can't run an offense with him on the bench. Seemingly, Julius Randle's forgotten how to, like, dribble. Ant-Man is just like, I'll dribble this one off my foot. What do you reckon? And Jaden McDaniel's like, I'll help. And you're like, God damn. So, yeah. Either way, the Minnesota Vets are my spuds of the night. Randle and Mike Conley combining to shoot, what's that, 3 of 17? It's like, this is the pressure that OKC put you under, right? The bench couldn't hit a fucking shot in game 1. And then boom, you've got 2 of your most experienced vets who have been in a million playoff games go 3 of 17 combined. Yeah, you better believe that's a spudlin. All right, what about old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
No mates. Who's got no mates today? SGA, having just won an MVP, getting called for a palming violation? I could not believe my eyes. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to respect over here. It's like, Jesus. Who gets called for a palming violation when they're an MVP? Just watch Chris Paul dribble once. Speaking of Chris Paul, the other old mate no mates is Chris Paul was there in the building, and I'm not entirely convinced it was an accident that Scott Foster got fucking whacked in the bonce to the point where he's like got a bloody nose everywhere by Dort, I think it was, on the jump ball. Scott Foster gets fucking yammed on. Chris Paul's just like, harder! Hit him fucking harder! It was an accident. Sure. Pantsing of the night. Well, it's still the Knicks because all the stats came out today about just how much of a pantsing that was by the Pacers there at the end of that game. Someone pointed out that the win probability for the Knicks was 99.7% when they're up 116 to 102 and like 119, 105 with less than 3 minutes to go. So that 119, 105, 99.7% chance to win that game. So apparently it's the worst collapse in NBA playoff history. Oh, you bets to believe that's a pantsing. All right, better than Bronny James.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Cason Wallace, another solid game from Cason Wallace. He got out there for 28 minutes, went 3-7 from the floor. He had 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists to go with a steal and a block. And fucking hell, he plays hard. That dude has got a motor for days. But he plays those 28 minutes and he's a plus 10. That was absolutely awesome. Weapon. Love me some Cason Wallace. All right. What about a bit of everyone's favorite? I believe it's some sort of, what is it, Jim? Magic tweet of the week? Oh, yeah. Game 1 was must-see TV because all the stars showed up and showed out. Halliburton had 31 and 11 rebounds. Brunson finished with 43 points and Karl Anthony Towns had 35 points and 12 rebounds. Thanks, Magic. Because it keeps on going. Tyrese Halliburton tied the game at the end of regulation and finished with 31 points to lead the Pacers to a 138-135 victory and a 1-0 lead against the Knicks. Thanks, Magic. I mean, just absolutely awesome. What a legend. That's so fucking good. He never fails to disappoint. And then finally, it's Friday, so it's time for Dickhead of the Week.
Dickhead of the Week!
The Draymond Green Memorial Dickhead of the Week this week goes to Kendrick Perkins. Let me give you some facts. When they throw out the bird liability, the Oklahoma City never went to the NBA Finals till Kendrick Perkins arrived with that team. Perk goes on to say that he locked up Dirk, Powell, Andrew Bynum, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili during the run to the 2012 Finals. And I mean, it's just completely false. Dirk averaged 27 and 7, right? And I think Powell averaged like a 10 and 10. Bynum had a 17 and 10. And like, what are we doing here? It was 12 and 10 for Powell, 16 and 13 for Bynum. And then Tim Duncan averaged a 17 and 10. Parker had 21, 6 and 4. Manu had 18, 4 and 4. And Perk in that season averaged in 26 minutes a game, 4 and 6. At some point, the thing that sort of gets me, this is why having former athletes just resetting narratives that are actually just fucking demonstrably false. I was watching those games. Perk didn't lock up shit. He was really not responsible for anything that OKC, like he gave them a fucking solid bit in the middle, but Serge Ibaka was doing the heavy lifting on that fucking team. Let's all be serious here for a fucking second. This is absolute dickhead territory, and it also speaks to a larger thing for me about these former players, the athlete shows. This is one of those things where you go, hang on a second, you know what matters sometimes? journalism. Journalists. People who actually know what they're fucking talking about, who were there, who wrote about stuff, who covered this, and wouldn't be then, 13 years later, going, yeah, you know who actually got the Thunder to the finals? It was Kendrick Perkins. If you said that as a professional journalist, you get fucking laughed out of the room because you're an idiot and you're wrong and a dickhead. And that's you, Perk, right there. All right. I have very much enjoyed the Stephen A. Smith Knicks stuff, but fucking hell, like, what are we doing here? Again, not a journalist anymore. Used to be, which is good. Now he's just a fucking performer. It's a bit weird. Anyway, let's take a quick break, come back with some yeah-nows right after this.
This is Cam Glidden. This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You listen to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do it. Some yeah-nahs brought to you by you. That's right. You can shout Jim a beer or buy us a coffee on the link in our bio. Go check it out. Helps support the show. Appreciate you. This is what keeps the lights on. Just saying. So go check it out. The link is in the bio. Buy me a coffee. Shout us a beer. Whatever you can do to help. Appreciate it. But also, if you want to go check out all the stuff over at Dabble, the link is in the show description and in the link in our bio as well. Sign up using that code NBA Straya. Right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Number one. Was Derek White the biggest all-defense snub? Yeah. It was weird. I feel like Derek White, especially for the guard spots, like Tamani Kamara was really, really, really good. J-Dub was pretty good. And you're like, all right, sweet. He also led all the guards in the NBA for block shots for the third straight year. He was the only Celtic to actually get any all-defensive votes. He got 2 first-team and 11 second-team votes and misses out. And the Celtics were the 4th best defense in the league, right? It was kind of like, I feel like Derek White could have gotten a bit of a nod maybe ahead of J-Dub. But at the same time, J-Dub also did a lot of heavy lifting and was really fucking good. So there are limited spots. Personally, I think Draymond is just full of fucking shit. And, don't know about that. But either way, Tamani Kamara, it was good to see him get some recognition. J-Dub, sure-ish. I don't know. But Derek White probably could have been on there. Hey, does David Adelman deserve this crack as the Nuggets head coach? Yeah, I reckon. But it's also a really, really, really hard job, isn't it? Like replacing the championship winning coach as your team's getting older and has lost key components that made them a contender in the first place. It's really rock and a hard place kind of vibes. Like it's really hard to sort of look back in NBA history and go, oh yes, who succeeded in this spot? And the answer is just about fucking no one, right? It's really, really fucking hard. It's like maybe Rick Carlisle taking the Mavs to the 2011 title after they sort of eventually get sick of Avery Johnson's little general shtick. And Carlisle gets them to the promised land. A bit of a strange one, that one, but also sort of tracks. Because Dirk was still fucking good and they just had a super veteran-laden team. But they hadn't won the title yet. They made the finals in like 2006. And it's a bit of a tricky one. Obviously, Steve Kerr, like those Warriors had never won anything. He takes them over and gets them to the promised land. Maybe Ty Lue, but at the same time, that Cavs one under the froggy-looking motherfucker. Like, they had never won. They had like won a million games, but they had not won a title yet. And Ty Lue gets them there. It's a tricky one, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel like it's probably good that he's young, right? It's sort of like, all right, I got to come up with some new, fun, young dude ideas. So we'll see what happens. Hey, will Dyson Daniels win Defensive Player of the Year next year? Yes. Yes, he will. Why is that, Jim? Well, if you look at all defensive voting, here we go. Let's have a look at it. Because, as I said, he gets, of the 100 voters, he's out there getting his name on every single ballot, right? So you think about all of them, it's just quite literally, he got 91 first-team votes for the first spot, right? Got 9 second-place votes, 191 total points out of everybody. Mobley gets 199. That's incredible gear. And it just sort of speaks to the simple idea that everybody now understands. Those 100 voters have gone Dyson Daniels, first team all defense. And so when we talk about Defensive Player of the Year, you now have the track record, which is really fucking important, especially as a guard, as a fucking lockdown dude. Now he'll spend all of next year with a little bit more shine, especially in the first half of the season. Because remember, it only sort of took half the year before everyone went, hang on a second, he's averaging over 3 steals a game. This is insane. No one's done this in ages. And then he runs away with like this fucking steals title, crushes it. But he's definitely my pick for Defensive Player of the Year next year. 100%. A great chance. And hey, the loser every time we do a show, we have a yeah, nah. It's like, can they bounce back? Is this it for the Wolves? Or can they bounce back, Jim? Yeah, nah. Is this it? Nah. The series doesn't start till the home team loses. Yes, we all fucking know that. Also, did you know that Nicky Alexander-Walker and SGA are cousins? It's amazing. I think the Wolves get at least one of these 2 games at home. But holy crap. Like, they're just so unable. Like, the cool thing about Denver was that, and we've sort of talked about this time and time again, OKC almost don't let you play the way that you want to. It's the same with Indy. If Indy get to play the way they want to, you'll end up losing. And then boom, OKC is the exact same way. But Denver, with the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, were able to play the way they wanted to as well against OKC a lot of the time. And OKC would sort of get thrown for these loops every so often because Jokic is just that fucking good. Ant-Man needs to be the dude who just goes, hang on a second, it doesn't matter what you guys are doing. I'm still going to win this game for us. And that's kind of his next step of just absolute fuck you, super duper stardom. And it's basically what we saw SGA do in the last 2 games. So, does Ant-Man have it in him? I reckon he does. I just don't think he's going to have enough. I mean, obviously, there's now a 5-game series. They've got to win 4 of them. It gets really fucking hard. So, it's one of those things where you go down 0-2. You got to remember, 5-game series now. You got to win 4-1. Jesus. Or go 4-0. If you're was it the Bucks against the Suns? Anyway, they might be cooked. Might be. But Ant-Man, we know that he has another level to go to. Just keep an eye out. Unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
The foul baiting from SGA should be even more of a thing than it is, I reckon. Right? We have these fucking conversations all the time with NBA stuff. We should be basically shining a bigger spotlight on this shit. We did it for James Harden. We should be doing it for SGA. It should be called out, and I want it to be called out. I want the fucking broadcaster to be going, that was bullshit. What are we doing here? This is a fucking touch foul. Fuck off. Like, don't call this shit in the playoffs. We need the broadcasters and everybody else just laying it on thick going, this is fucked. A lot of the time, the shit that he does is very smart. It's really hard to avoid as a defender. But also, the refs bail him out a little bit here and there. I still think SJ is fucking incredible. But just saying, we should be kicking up more of a stink than we are. And finally, Outback Takehouse. It's Friday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh yeah, 4-for-1 icy cold Foster's Lager cans. It's the all drum cans. They're the size of your fucking head. And they're full of icy cold Foster's Lager. Foster's Lager. It's Australian for beer. Bloody good on a hot day. Cold as fuck here today, so I don't know about this, but 4-for-1 only at Outback. And today's flame grilled take is, if Ant-Man can have fewer than 4 turnovers in every game the rest of this series and score over 30 points in the rest of the games that they play, Wolves OKC still goes 7 games. Only at Outback. And that was kind of the thing today. We talked about the Ant-Man kids line, where if he has more turnovers than kids, the Wolves are fucked. Today, he actually had 0 turnovers. Unfortunately, he went 1 of 9 from downtown. And I feel like the scorers were being very, very generous with his 0 turnovers, because there were at least 2 different times where he handed the ball off and it was like knocked away, this sort of shit. Dribbled off his foot, picked it up, somebody else knocked it away. And you're like, come on, that's a turnover. But either way. Still, limit the turnovers. Score more than 30 points. 36-6 should be his baseline from here on out. That's what I want to see. If we're going to take Ant-Man seriously, and we should because he's fucking electric and he's awesome, but this is the moment. If you can do that, we're going 7. Right, Australian Player Watch. I don't know why, but we'll just do it anyway. Whoa, press the button, Jim. Yeah, Jingler Joe Ingles copped another did not play coach's decision. I don't know what to tell you. What are the Wolves going to do? Play fucking worse? Could you imagine Joe Ingles out there against that fucking pack of velociraptors that the Oklahoma City defense is? Jesus. A very, very, very quick Luke Longley Memorial Role Player of the Week award. We're going to give this one to Alex Caruso, putting on a Caruso show once more. So today he played 24 minutes, went 4 of 7 from the floor. He's crushing it pretty nicely. He had 9 points in this game. Fouls out for the first time in a playoff game ever. 2 rebounds, 2 assists. 1 of 3 from deep. But yes, 2 days ago he had 9 points, 3 rebounds. Shot 3 of 4 from the floor, 3 of 3 from 3. And it's incredible that Caruso is just such a crucial part of what the Thunder do. And he's only playing 22 minutes, 24 minutes. But he completely changes like the entire face of the game. I mean, he's also spent like the last week guarding everybody from what? Ant-Man to Nikola Jokic to just basically everybody who's like handling a ball, causing any sort of havoc. Like he's like facing up against like Julius Randle and stuff. The defensive versatility and the additive offense. Alex Caruso. Loaded. That is an absolute fucking superstar role player. And that is Luke Longley-esque, if you ask me. All right. Let's do a Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. What's Patty been up to? Patty. He hasn't swung in to talk about the Bryce Cotton signing with Adelaide, which is the funniest fucking thing in the world. Poor Wildcats fans. Jesus, they're like, yeah, he's like bouncing. He's probably going to end up in Japan or somewhere. And then he's just like, fuck it. Do you know how much I hate John Riley? I'm going to Adelaide. It's amazing. Really good story on the, was it by Hools and stuff like that on nbl.com.au about chatting to, was it Matt Weston and stuff. So that was pretty fun. Go check that out. Nothing from Paddy there, but we've got Rucker, another friend of the show, talking about Delhi and KD in Sydney, but jumping on the pod to chat with John Casey and Pete Hools, also a friend of the program, about the 36ers getting Bryce Cotton, which is amazing. NBL fans out there, let us know what you reckon. I think it's, I find it wildly funny. And I hate it for Wildcats fans because, like, if Bryce goes away, cool. Like, doesn't play in the NBL, go somewhere else, you sort of get it, right? But if he stays, he's a Wildcats legend. It's where he's won fucking MVPs, titles, the fucking whole shebang. You can't go to Adelaide, of all fucking places. Anyway, let's do some game previews for the weekend. Game previews. Thanks to Divert and Bain. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Yeah, not bad. Chilling, not illin'. Had the physio sort of, for the Achilles and stuff today. Which was a bit, I don't know, it was always going to be a bit dicey after I fucking hurt it again the other day. But after the treatment yesterday, she's feeling all right. So that was pretty good. Either way, you can follow all of our NBA picks and vibes over at Dabble. Use the code NBA Straya. Tell them Jim sent you. You can sign up using the link in our show description or the link in our bio as well. Go check it out. Plenty of just chaos ones in there. Was really, really, really sort of like bang on today about J-Dub not having a good game. We're kind of okay there at the half, and then he just went bang in the second half. A bit brutal. Ant-Man, though, we were vibing on that. I don't think he had the steal, though, which would break my heart, and goes 1 of 9 from downtown. You're killing me. Either way. But you can find all of that, all the same gamers, all the fun stuff there over at Dabble. Use that code NBA Straya. Right, tomorrow we have Game 2. Game 2 of Indy and the Knicks at MSG. How do the Knickerbockers respond to having basically won Game 1, but then Aaron Naismith and Tyrese Halliburton turn into fucking Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and win the game out of nowhere? Can the Knicks bounce back? Can they? Yeah. Will they? I think so, yeah. The Knicks played so well in that game. It's such a kick in the dick, though, right? And now the Knicks fans know just exactly how the Boston fans felt after Game 1 and 2 for them. I'm still taking Indy plus 5.5 in this game. Because, I mean, Indy did it in the 2 series before this one, right? They did it to the Bucks and the Cavs. Where those 2 games on the road, fucking check it out. We're there, buddy. We got you. They actually might have been at home for the Bucks games. But either way, they just have a stupid ability to come back from fucking absolutely, you know, what, as we saw, fucking 17, 14 points down in the fucking end of the fourth quarter. But I still think the Knicks win this. I feel like they'll ride a bit, just sort of keep it just their noses in front and sneak out a win. But I'll take Indy plus 5.5. I just feel like the different sort of aspects of their offense, their defense was just, I don't know, both teams were all over the shop defensively yesterday, but I think for Game 2, a lot more interesting, a lot more fun. I think the Knicks bounce back. But because I think that Indy can win that game as well, because they did it to the Bucks, they did it to the Cavs, I'm going to take Indy plus 5.5, because if the Knicks win it, I think it's a close one. Simple as that. And then Game 3 of OKC Mini, that's right, Minnesota, is on Sunday, because we're just going back to back to back to back to back to back to back. The Minnesota Timberwolves are plus 4.5 underdogs at home against the Thunder, which tracks because OKC are a whirring death machine. I am, however, going to take Minnesota because fucking hell, they've got to give me something, right? Holy shit. If I go Minnesota in this entire series, they get swept, so be it. But I believe that Minnesota is going to have one of these 2 games at home where everything clicks and they actually can just put the clamps on OKC. Because OKC are that fucking good at the moment. It's really, really hard to not take them minus 4.5 on the road in Game 3. But Minnesota, like, there's got to be a reason that we believe in them, right? The defense have been awesome. The offense does get bogged down. We've seen that time and time again. But if they get the balance right in Game 3, I can see them, if not winning outright, then at least losing a heartbreaker. And OKC, having blown them out in Games 1 and 2, pull out a really close one in Game 3, or Minnesota actually finally get one back. So I'm going to take the 4.5. So we're going both the underdogs for Saturday and Sunday. And for Monday's game, we'll do a Sunday Tins with Jim on Sunday night for you. Sound good? So you'll know what my picks are for Monday. That'd be Indy at home. I'd probably be just picking Indy straight up. It doesn't matter what the line is. I'd probably take the Pacers. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to it on Sunday, won't we? So we'll do Sunday Tins with Jim. But that's it. You can find all of the vibes over at Dabble, of course. Remember, use the code NBA Australia. Tell them Jim sent you. You can follow and copy all the stuff that we do. There's plenty of it. Trust me. Right. That's it. That's it for the week. Can you believe that? I certainly can't. It's been a crazy week. We'll be back on deck, as I said, Monday for a show, but Sunday night for Sunday Tins with Jim for the Monday morning game, which I think is still like 10 a.m. or something, our time, but I'll still probably just do a Sunday night video just to have it out there and sitting there so we all know what we're doing for Monday. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. Monday, but Either way. So we'll wrap all the weekend games up on Monday, but we'll do a Sunday Tins with Jim video on Sunday night. So keep an eye out for that. You can keep an eye out for it, of course, across all the socials, Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Get around all of them, of course. Check out. Yeah, chuck it out, man. NFL Australia, myself, and Gaz. Give us a rating and review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, your YouTube Music, whatever app you use on your Android phone. NBA Straya, look, hey, just jump on there and go, oh, cheers, Jim. 5 stars. That's all I need. Jump in the comments. Send us through your nars, all that good stuff as well. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out House Hats, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinated Gold Mines, Ramcheck Alami, Iowa Section, Green, and Dozers. They're the bands all that you hear throughout the show. They're all on what? Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all the good stuff. Check them out. NBA Australia Sports Australian band, so should you. You can shout us a beer or shout us a coffee if you want to in the link in our bio as well. Would appreciate it. Let's close out with the Cooking with Bainesy for your weekend. And who is excited for a big weekend of NBA playoff basketball? Me! I am. All right, we'll catch you on Monday, you dickheads, and Sunday night, Tins with Jim. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would you? And let it hose on!
Cooking with Bainesy is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
And now it's time for Cooking with Bainesy with your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. All right. G'day. Yes, how are yous all? Well, look at yous over there. I see you over there again, Cheryl. Yes, we know that you love it. Oh, this is great. Yeah, g'day. Welcome to Cooking with Bainesy. I am your host, Aaron Bangers Bainesy. All right, so this here episode, we're going to whip up one of my absolute favourite Australian staples. You can have it whenever as well, at night, for dinner, after a big night on the Terps. It's that absolute Aussie classic. It is Hawaiian pizza. Oh, yes, that's right. I love me some Hawaiian pizza, and it's easy as to make, mate. I mean, it definitely helps keeping up this physique, if you know what I mean. I reckon I probably cook about 3 of these bloody things a week, you know what I'm saying? And also, hey, just for yous out there as well, don't bloody listen to anyone who says shit about pineapple on pizza. They can go and do what I tell every centre in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. They can go fuck themselves, all right? You can put whatever the fuck you want on pizza. It's pizza. All right, so anyway, Hawaiian pizza is bloody simple, mate. All you gotta do is go down to your soupy and grab yourself a pizza base. I love the spongier, thick ones, you know. Grab a thing of tomato paste. Now, don't bother with the fancy pants shit with basil or oregano in it unless you want to be like all fancy pants and shit. Because then you just grab a bunch of shredded ham from the deli. Grab a bag of shredded cheese. Now, you can have mozzarella, cheddar, home brand, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. It's just bloody cheese. And the key ingredient, a tin of pineapple chunks. Now, it's pretty easy to whip this bad boy up, so let's get to it. All right, here we go. Now, just whip your base out. There you go. All right, now smother it with the tomato paste. Oh, yep, there you go. Smooth her out a bit. Just make sure it's all over the entire thing. Now, dump your ham on there. Yep, all this shredded ham. Now, get your fingers amongst that. Shove that to the edges. There you go. Spread that out nice and even. Yep, there you go. All right, now cover this liberally with the dead pig. Come on, man. You got to put the ham everywhere. Just need heaps and heaps and heaps of ham. Just make sure it's the nice shredded stuff, though. All right, now drain your pineapple into the sink, or you can, you can drain it into a cup and drink that pineapple juice, you know. What bloke doesn't like a cup of pineapple juice, you know what I'm saying, ladies? There we go. Now, fang the chunks of pineapple on there. Just put it everywhere, just throw it around. And then cover up the entire bloody thing with your shredded cheese. All right. Now, we've got this oven over here. Just wang her in there in the oven. There you go, just for a good 15, 20 minutes at about 220 degrees Celsius. None of that Fahrenheit bullshit. Now, sit back, grab a tin, and let her cook. Oh, doesn't that bloody well smell delicious? All right, now here's one we made a little bit earlier. So you can see once it's browning a bit on the edges and all your cheese is all melty and nice, you whip her out, you chop her up into slices, and Bob is your bloody pizza-loving uncle. Now, give it a sec to cool down before you chow down. Don't burn your bloody tongue because that cheese will be hot as buggery, eh? So, all right, now it's there. Just get your bloody munch on. And that is an absolute bloody ripper of a meal. The best bit is, and this will impress everyone, right? You can cook it whenever you want. Mates, the missus, kids, everyone bloody loves Hawaiian pizza. And if they don't, just give them the old bangers, don't argue, and go tell them to cook their own bloody pizza. Because this is just bloody delicious, mate. All right, how easy was that? Cool, there you go. That is absolutely unreal. Love me some Hawaiian pizza. All right, so that's it for this week. Tune in next week for a new recipe, and we'll see yous then on the next episode of Cooking with Bainesy.
G'day legends, your mate Jim from NBA Straya here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Straya. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in yeah, nahs. Any other questions? I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old dabble, use that code NBA Straya, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Straya, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?